Right, and thank you for coming back to another episode here on the Lazy Genius Tarot and Bazaar. Today, what we're going to be doing is another comparison video, but if this is your first stop on the channel here, I do want to say thank you very much for spending some time with me today. And, hopefully you like the content. So the comparison that we're going to be doing today is the orange box AGM print of the Tarot of A.E. Waite, which is, according to the box, based on the original cards from the first edition from 1909, although it is the crackle back, so I think it's actually based on the 1910 Pam A there, and then this is the bag that I keep my Make Playing Cards study deck, which is a scan of Kenji Ishimatsu's Pam A there. So because I have heard multiple times, and even in the beginning of my tarot journey, even sort of followed the thought process that this is a very close representation of the 1909. So let's go ahead and give them a comparison. Now we are just going to go through the majors. We're not going to go through the whole deck. First thing we notice is that the AGM has the type font rather than Pixie's calligraphy there, and some people would automatically scratch this deck off of their list because of that. I don't necessarily scratch the deck off of my list because of that, mainly because as we go through the cards here, you will notice that it does still have Pam's signature on the card images, meaning that they are still Pam's original images there. So I do still keep this one around because, it is actually Pam's artwork. Now, looking at the decks here, the line work is pretty spot on. The colors do definitely seem like they've been brightened, but in the detailed areas of the cards, you don't see any loss of detail. You don't see any blown out line work. Here on the scan of Kenji Ishimatsu's Pam A, we have a darker skin tone than we do over here, so it looks like this might have been brightened a little bit for the AGM printing here. Yeah, the details in the face look to be the same. The facial expressions appear the same. Like I said, there's no blowouts or muddling of the line work there, but everything has been brightened for sure. Yeah, that's really the only difference that I'm noticing so far in the imagery on the cards, is just the colors have been brightened. A lot of the other details look to fall right into place. Yeah, I'm really liking the similarities here because, like I said, I'm not showing any real differences in line work. There's no loss of detail. There's no muddlement of the lines. There's no blowouts. There's, you can even see the cross hatching while the colors have been brightened and even softened a little bit. You can still see like the intricate lines that are in the printing of the colors of the mountain, and the line work does look pretty spot on. It does have the crackle back there, and the tone of the crackle back, much like the tone of the cards themselves, looks like it's been brightened some there. And really, if Pam's calligraphy were actually on the cards, I would really just have to say that this looks like a brightened, less saturated rendition of, the Pam A from 1910. You see her signature still on the cards. You see that you can still see the cross hatching and the colors there, even in the face. It's just like I said, the saturation's been taken down some. It's been brightened a little. Well, it's been brightened a lot, actually, but overall, like I said, I'm not showing any real differences. It looks like the line work has been cleaned up a little bit, because here we show like a sort of a stray line on the chest of whatever this animal or being is here, and then over here that stray line is gone. So while it doesn't look like they've added any lines, it does look like they have cleaned up a couple of stray lines for the AE Waite deck here for the AGM printing. But again, I don't see any loss of detail. I don't see... Yeah, it's a good one. Even like right here on the top of the tree, that little gap has been left where it's like you can see through the little branch that connects part of the top of the T that he's being hung from there. And you see all the same detail in the hair, and the facial expressions are the same. And that's the part that I was looking for, is what does the artwork look like in comparison, right? How much did they touch it up? And is there a loss of detail? Is the line work still present? And I would have to say it all definitely is still very much so present. All of the same details are there. Like I said, I'm not noticing any sort of loss of detail, even in the wings, like in the cards where you would expect to see it. It's the detail is still there. It's still very clear. Yeah. So image-wise, like imagery-wise, the cards here are pretty spot on, and it is a well done art-wise deck as far as like a historical representation of the Pam A. Now, they did get the details wrong on the back of the box, because it says it's based on the 1909, which we know is the Roses and Lilies backed Tudor deck. So I think they might have gotten the information wrong on the back of this guy. But it is, again, like I said, a very accurate representation of the Pam A from what I'm seeing here. I do wish that they did one with the font, like Pixie's hand-drawn font. But I think that that's how AGM got around the US Games copyright. I know that they released this right around the same time that the copyright timing ended for the US Games copyright, which was right around 2016, because you only have so many years for the copyright. And then I know that they just renewed that, I believe, in 2019 as well. But yeah, so here's this. And again, I gotta say, here's another one of those cards that I look for as far as like, is the detail the same? Was anything touched up? Because you can see a lot of the touch-ups, if they are present, in the Sun card, right? Like the squiggle here at the top looks to still be the same shape and, pattern, and it doesn't look like they've touched up the squiggle at all. The details in the Sun's face are the same thing with the face of the child and the horse. So there is no real loss of detail. Everything is visible on the cards there. Same thing with Judgment. No loss of detail in the wings. No loss of detail in all the heavy line work of the stone caskets. Yeah, if I do say so myself, this is a pretty good one art-wise. You know, like I said, some people scratch it off of their list because of this typewritten font here on the bottom. Um, but one of the reasons why I don't really care about that so much, and normally on these comparisons, I don't go into the minors. But if we skip past the ace here and get to the two, now we don't have to worry about titles, right? So this is the reason why I don't necessarily mind that Pixie's font's not on the card, because I still have Pixie's artwork, and the details here are still so well represented in the reprinting here from AGM that I honestly don't mind the loss of Pixie's font on the cards. Another score, another plus for me, because I am just in general a fan of her writing as far as the tarot is concerned, is the AGM deck here with, you know, the loss of the Pixie's font has a book that was written by Rachel Pollack, and this one came out in 2016, and you know, it is a nice sized little white book. They don't just give you some skinny little white book with this one. It's 95 pages. There's literally text on it all the way to the back of the book there. You know, and it runs through the tarot contents really quick, jumps right into the intro, you know, personal encounters. It's not very long before you're already really deep into the book. You know what I mean? Like, there's not really any dead space in the book. It's very well written. I really like this deck. And after having gone through, you know, with a side by side, because this is the first time I've done this with these two, myself even. But after having gone through the side by side there, I can say that it does appear to be a very good representation there of that 1910 Pam A. Even so much in so far as, like, you can see the difference in the colors and the blue on the mountain behind it. And there's so many times that I've looked at the full card, you know what I mean, even, you know, in something more recent like one of the Italian printed yellow boxes, the detail in the blue is lost, especially up here along this way, right? And here we see that we get all three of those gradients of blue that are present here on the actual 1910 Pam A. So, you know, all the way around, even though the colors have been brightened and the saturation on them taken down a little bit, it is still a very good representation, at least according to what I've seen so far, of the 1910 Pam A. You know, the crackle back there. That's just my take on it. Leave your impression in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. Is it a close comparison? Do you scratch it off your list automatically because it doesn't have Pixie's font? Are you okay with it not having Pixie's font? You know, tell me what you guys think. And I will always make sure to get to everybody that I can in the comments. You know, no problems with that. But please, you know, let me know what you think about that one, because I think it's pretty spot on, guys. But, you know, again, that's just my take on it. And I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me while I flip through them and kind of check out the differences and similarities there. Definitely appreciate you for spending the time with me. And again, if you're new here, thank you for making this your first stop on the journey. If you like the content, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you catch the notifications for my live videos every Thursday, and you get the notifications also whenever I release a new video. Again, thank you guys for spending some time with me today and hanging out, and hopefully I'll catch you on the next one.